The stars of the National Hot Rod Association are set to blast off in the finals of the Winston Invitational. Bill Elliott is going after a piece of NASCAR history in Bristol, Tennessee. And the IndyCars make their U.S. season debut in Phoenix, and that's where we are for this special edition of Race Day. The Phoenix International Raceway has hosted IndyCar racing since 1964, and today marks the 48th time the Open Wheel Series has run here at Buddy Job's 1 Mile track. Good morning, everybody. I'm Pat Patterson, and thanks for joining us for a special edition of Race Day from the Valley of the Sun. We're just a few hours away from today's 200-mile IndyCar race, and the starting field was decided yesterday in qualifying. Here's Mark Allen.
One thing about the technology in IndyCar racing, it never stands still. Rick Mears has virtually owned qualifying on this 1 mile layout, but yesterday the track record holder could only turn in the 8th fastest speed of just over 167 miles per hour. His old mark took a beating, and in fact a threshold was crossed for the first time. Mario Andretti did it with one of those new Ford Cosworth engines turning a fine lap of over 170 miles per hour. That might have been good enough for front row honors, but Bobby Rahal in the Miller Genuine Draft Lola with the workhorse Chevy power plant toured the track at 171.6 miles per hour. But even that wasn't good enough to displace Michael Andretti, who destroyed the old track mark by 3.5 miles per hour for his first pole as IndyCar champion.
Yesterday on Friday was just a nightmare. I mean, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong, and going into today we really hadn't done a hot lap yet, so this morning it was fairly encouraging. I think we were like third quick, and we were optimistic to be in the top 5, and the way it worked out is just a total bonus. It was just a great feeling to be able to see that quick time on my dashboard there.
This is Mark Allen reporting for Race Day.
And missing from today's race will be A.J. Foyt, who crashed Friday in practice but was able to climb out of his stricken Lola unaided when SuperTax complained of shoulder pain. X-rays were taken and a cracked right shoulder blade was discovered. Now George Schneider will drive the Copenhagen Lola in A.J.'s place today. Now here are the front 3 rows for today's Valvoline 200. Michael Andretti will pace the 23-car field as he looks to repeat the record 8 poles he won last year. Next to him will be Bobby Rahal, who's already been to victory lane once at Phoenix back in 1984. Right behind his son on row 2 is Mario Andretti, and he has won this event 5 times before. And starting 4th will be Emerson Fittipaldi, who's coming off a win in Australia 2 weeks ago. On row 3, the 1991 Rookie of the Year, John Andretti and his Pennzoil Lola Chevy. And in something of a surprise, the 6th starting spot goes to Penske test driver Paul Tracy, who out-qualified Rick Mears. Now, one of the big stories here, of course, is Ford versus Chevy here at the Valvoline 200 today. And joining us is the whole Unser clan almost. We have Little Al, and we have Big Al. Good morning to all you guys. It's great to see you, and probably not that great of a practice and start for this race. 11th starting spot. I know you would have liked to have been up there a little bit further in the field.
Yeah, we would have, Pat, but the Galmer, we're working on it. It's a good road racing car right now. We're happy with it, but we suffered a little bit on the oval, and but Danny Sullivan, he's either 7th or 8th, something like that, so he's doing well in it.
Let's talk to your dad for a second. Al, what do you think about the Ford versus Chevy situation? It seems like it's good for the race fans because they really got something they can identify here with.
Well, very much so, because when you have more than one engine, it really makes it more interesting for the people, and for us the same way, all of us, because if you don't have the good engine, you want it with the team. So it's very, very good. I'd like to see more manufacturers come in and actually, get involved in racing because it's better.
You put a many a lap on this racetrack. Is there anything about this particular racetrack, Al, from a driver's standpoint that, it seems like it can be anybody's race, and horsepower doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win this particular race?
Well, it's a very competitive racetrack. It's a racetrack that you have to get the car working very well at, and you yourself. So between the two of them, it asks a lot, and you have to produce, and the team has to produce. You have to, like I said, get things working, and then it's funny. All of a sudden, race day, you look at one guy shines, and usually, you go around and all of a sudden, one guy, one team will just take off, and you say, well, where did he come from? Well, he got everything working right that day, and that's the way this racetrack is. It's a very demanding racetrack.
All right, one more question. Your racing plans this year, any for you?
Well, I'm still looking for a good ride. No, I'm not through yet. I still want to race, and hopefully I can still compete against Al here and make him honest.
We want to see you back out there. I'll ask you to pass the microphone back over there, and let's really quickly cap it off. This Valvoline team of yours ready to go today? Can it be your day?
Well, we hope so. We're thinking that I've changed the car quite a bit from yesterday, and we're hoping that we went the right direction. And so, the Valvoline car is ready to go racing for 200 miles.
What do you think? Has Dad got what it takes today?
Yeah.
He's going to win it, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's the kind of cheerleading you need. Listen, thanks to all the Unsers. We appreciate it. Hope everything goes real well for you today.
Thank you, Pat.
Now, coming up next, we'll talk with the Director of Communications of the CART IndyCar Series. But first, here's the entire starting field for today's Valvoline 200.
Jim Fox.
It's time. Mike Bell.
Time.
Isn't it a shame, owners of cars and trucks seeing them quit before their time?
You're out back.
Maybe the owners don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last.
Nick Bickner.
What if everybody knew?
Nick.
Debbie? Huh?
AC Delco.
Where is everybody?
It's like buying time.
The word is out. It's Gum Out. Today, car owners are learning to improve engine performance. It takes Gum Out fuel system cleaners. Gum Out's tough ingredients help eliminate hard starts, hesitations, and stalls. And there's Pennzoil quality in every product, which is why so many people know they can trust Gum Out. To improve engine performance, it takes Gum Out fuel system cleaners. Gum Out, solutions to engine problems from the people at Pennzoil.
My feet are so sweaty and smelly.
Here's why. Your feet have more sweat glands than any other part of your body. They need super drying Odor Eaters foot powder. Look, you'd need 25 cans of talc to match the drying strength of just one Odor Eaters powder. It can absorb 25 times more wetness.
Wow! It even keeps my feet dry. And no more smell.
Odor Eaters foot powder from the makers of Odor Eaters insoles with the world's most powerful odor destroyer.
I'm not taking this. You take it. I'm not taking it. You take it. You take it. You take it.
To protect the environment, many communities are banning curbside pickup of yard debris. You need the MTD Chipper Shredder. It turns mountains of debris into small piles of mulch. Or try an MTD mulching mower. MTD mulchers recycle nutrients back into your lawn, and they'll never leave you holding the bag. MTD Yard Machines, the best buy on the American landscape. American made, American owned.
Race Day is brought to you in part by Pennzoil, the motor oil that outperforms any leading motor oil against viscosity breakdown.
And welcome back to the Valley of the Sun, where we're doing it live this morning at Phoenix International Raceway, and it's always a lot of fun. By the way, we're on top of the Amway Transporter. That's Dick Simon's team. Many thanks to them for hosting us here out in Phoenix. Now, joining us now is Steve Weiss, the Director of Communications for the IndyCar Series. And Steve, it's great to come here. Second race of the year. I know you had fun down in Australia, but boy, if you got to come to the first place you can start your year off, it's great to start here in Phoenix.
Well, it's great to be here in Phoenix, and we're expecting a really, really good show. You know, yesterday Michael Andretti set a new record here at Phoenix International Raceway and added the Ford name to a list of pole winners for the first time in many, many years. That's very exciting about what's coming up for us this series.
No doubt about it. The fans are going to see a great show here today. They'll be on ABC this afternoon. Let's talk a little bit about the sanctioning body and basically the mission statement that you people have for the year 1992. What are you trying to accomplish this year?
Well, Pat, we want to continue the momentum that we started to build last year. And, you know, last year was a record year for IndyCar racing. We set record attendance, record television audiences. We put the best and most competitive show on for the fans that we have in our history. And so far this year, we're off to continuing that. Down in Australia, we had the brand new Galmer chassis, all the new equipment we have win the pole. We had the new Chevrolet V8B motor win the race with the new Penske engine, and so far this year we have the new Ford motor on the pole at Phoenix. We set new attendance records in Australia at the first race this year, and so far it looks like we're going to do the same thing here in Phoenix. In fact, Buddy Job got so many calls in the last 3 days for tickets here at this race that it blew the circuits out and his telephone answering machines.
Well, I'm sure Buddy will have it replaced by, or probably had it replaced last night in plenty of time to take whatever orders there are. It appears that just the atmosphere around this year, as opposed to some years in the past, it seems like there's a real solid movement and that everybody really is maybe a little bit more excited about this 1992 season. Can you put your finger on why?
Well, I can. There are a lot of reasons. I think the economy's starting to pick up a little bit. And that's obviously going to help fan attendance. It's going to help sponsorship, which, as you know, is vital to our sport. I think that the excitement generated last year by our success is just growing and building. We've got more fans coming out. We've got more competition. Any one of a number of the first dozen teams are capable of winning a race. So it doesn't look like any one person's going to dominate so far this year.
All right, we all talked about this the last couple of years, car counts. Quickly in this last 30 seconds or so, are we pretty pleased from the sanctioning body standpoint about the number of cars, like, for instance, that will start here today at Phoenix?
Yes. In fact, we've started a new franchise system which is designed to address consistent car counts. Our goal is 24 cars per race and, of course, 33 for the Indianapolis 500. We had 23 in Australia. We would have had 24 out here. I might choose to have not had an accident, but we are really looking forward to full fields, more competition, better equipment, and overall a much, much better show for the fans this year and continuing the great momentum in IndyCar racing that we started last year.
That's great. Our best to you and Bill Stokan and the entire crew. I hope it's a good year for you. Well, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us, Pat.
All right, Steve Weiss. All right, one of the other big races of the day is on the high banks of Bristol, Tennessee, where the Winston Cup Series is back on the short tracks. In qualifying for today's Food City 500, Alan Kowicki earned his first pole of the year with a new track record of 122.4 miles per hour. His front row mate will be Brett Bodine, who's also bested the old mark in his Quaker State Ford. On row number 2 will be defending race champion Rusty Wallace in a Pontiac and Dale Jarrett in his best qualifying effort since joining Joe Gibbs Racing. Starting 5th is Hutch Strickland in Bobby Allison's Buick, where there are heavy hearts with the team this week because Allison's father, Pop Allison, passed away Thursday. 6th is Davey Allison, who won this race by a fender in 1990. And on row number 4 are Ernie Irvin, whose team is based in nearby Abington, Virginia, and Ken Schrader, who needs a good finish to reverse a disappointing start to the season. And on the 5th row are Mark Martin in his Valvoline Ford and Michael Waltrip, who is best remembered for a frightening Grand National crash here in 1990. Now, if Bill Elliott can win this event, he would become the first driver in modern era to score 5 straight races. At the moment, he's tied with Harry Gant, Darrell Waltrip, Cale Yarborough, Dale Earnhardt with 4 wins. But keep this in mind. Elliott's first short track victory came in Bristol in 1988. Now, in late word from Bristol, as a matter of fact, yesterday, let's go back to yesterday, and Bristol played host to the 250-lap Busch Grand National race, where the weather tried to disrupt the party, causing several rain delays, one of which lasted 4 hours just before halfway. What did Harry Gant do during the time down? I can't even believe this. He stayed in his tarpaulin-covered car and took a nap. And it must have worked because when the event finally restarted, he caught everyone else napping and led the entire second half of the event with darkness descending on the fast half-mile bull ring. Not bad. Not a bad start for Gant this year, who failed to qualify at Bristol a couple of years ago. Davey Allison was second in that event with Bobby Dotter a career-best 3rd. Dale Jarrett was 4th, and Jeff Gordon finished in 5th. So in the series points, take a look at it. Kenny Wallace still leads but has given up some ground to Jeff Gordon. Robert Presley is 3rd with Joe Nemechek 4th, and Steve Grissom rounds out the top 5. Coming up next, we'll turn our attention to the National Hot Rod Association, which is in North Carolina today. But first, here's the rest of the starting grid for today's Food City 500. Stay with us.
In case you need to push your truck, Yokohama high-performance light truck tires.
Costly engine wear occurs when you first start your car because even the best motor oils and additives are down in the oil pan. Slick 50 protects your engine at startup. It treats the engine, not the oil. Independent lab tests showed Slick 50 reduced engine wear by 50% for 50,000 miles. Since 1978, over 15 million people worldwide have used Slick 50. Starting your engine without it is a terrible thing to do.
On the surface, it's a perfect neighborhood. Everything's so well maintained. But beneath the surface, there could be trouble brewing in the septic system. Ask anyone who's had a backup. Better to maintain your system. Regular maintenance, including Rid-X, helps keep your septic system free-flowing and helps prevent backup. Look beneath the surface. Use Rid-X once a month.
Rid-X wants you to have this free booklet of easy septic system maintenance tips and helpful information. Just call 1-800-944-RID-X. 1-800-944-RID-X.
If you don't like the looks of your car, shoot it with Son of a Gun from STP. Shoot the dash, seats, tires, and roof. Son of a Gun protecting. Man, what a difference.
Shower yourself with a new sensation. New refreshing Shield. Feel the blast. The high-energy beat of Shield's unique skin-vigorating formula. Refreshment that'll turn you around. New refreshing Shield.
The final round, where misjudgment leads to misfortune and victory is a microsecond away. Now, for the first time in cable history, the NHRA comes to TV live. Feel the heat as 4,500 horses storm down the quarter mile. Share the ride at 300 miles an hour and experience it all as it happens. The final rounds of the NHRA Winston Invitational. Today, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 Central, live. Only on TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back live to Phoenix International Raceway for this special edition of Race Day. Now we're going to head across the country for a few minutes to Rockingham, North Carolina, where the NHRA is holding the Winston Invitational. Records have tumbled like dominoes this year. Did that happen in qualifying? Here's Neil Kassabaum with the answer.
Jerry Ekman in the right lane is off to a great start in Pro Stock this season with 2 wins, and he's carried the momentum through qualifying in Rockingham. The Pennzoil driver surged to a new track record ET of 7:17 with an 8 at 192 miles per hour, also a record.
Well, when we went to Gainesville last week, we were a little down on power, and we knew we were. We went back to the shop and worked hard and got our car back, and looks like we're back on top again. You know, 200 doesn't sound like much. And it's not when you're racing these kind of guys. They're going to be out there taking shots at me, and we're just going to have to try to do the best we can and win this race.
The old Rockingham mark took it on the chin in funny car as well, as Cruz Pedregon continues to adjust well to his new Larry Minor ride. The Olds driver ran a record 5:26 with a 3 at 277 miles per hour.
Yeah, there's a little less pressure here, but still there's pressure to win. You know, we really want to win, and it's nice to qualify number 1, and we're going to try to win this race tomorrow, and winning's always important regardless of points.
And in Top Fuel, Eddie Hill is hot. Kenny Bernstein had the best view of Hill's track record 491 with a 9 at 286 miles per hour. This is Neil Kassabaum reporting for Race Day.
One of the sport's really nice guys is still savoring his win in Gainesville, Florida a few weeks back. NHRA Today's Dave McClellan caught up with Eddie Hill yesterday at the track.
Pat, it was 2 weeks ago that Eddie Hill absolutely stunned the drag racing world. In Gainesville, Florida, he drove this car, the Pennzoil Dragster, to a 4.80 second elapsed time, the quickest ever. Then he came back and backed it up within 1% for the new national record. Everybody thought it was because it was Eddie's favorite racetrack, the good traction at Gainesville Raceway, that caused this car to run so well. But here at Rockingham in the Winston Invitational, Eddie is qualified number 1 once again. He stunned him with a 491, nearly a tenth of a second ahead of the rest of the field. I'm going to ask the question the entire drag racing world wants to know. Eddie, what is the secret to your performance?
Well, the reason the car is more consistent now than it used to be is we're putting all fresh clutch pieces in it every run. So every time we make a lap, the whole clutch comes out and all freshly machined parts go right back in.
Obviously, it paid off down at Gainesville. You had 4 runs in the 480s during eliminations. Nobody's ever done that before.
Wasn't that great? It makes my job as tuning just a lot easier because the clutch repeats every time, so I can concentrate on the tune-up. It's a lot of fun to do it this way.
I was just going to say, you look like you're having a good time.
I am. We're having a great time. Hope
Eddie,
we can keep it going for a while like this.
Thank you very much, Pat. That's it from Rockingham. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Dave. Don't forget, folks, that you can see the final round of today's Winston Invitational live this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern. So for the best in drag racing coverage, keep it right here on TNN. Coming up next, we'll have more on racing so far this weekend here at Phoenix. But first, let's show you how opening round pairings for eliminations in the Winston Invitational came out. Stay with us.
He wonders if I even notice that visual perfection produces unbelievably deep, rich, glowing color. An intense, dazzling, brilliant shine. I do. Visual Perfection by Eagle One, the ultimate auto polish.
Eagle One's video guide to auto detailing. Free with purchase of Visual Perfection. Only the Discovery Channel gets you this close to real life. The Discovery Channel. It's your world.
Let's take off our sneakers and get comfortable.
Uh-oh, sneaker odor.
Let's go to the movies.
Tame ferocious sneaker odor with Sneaker Tamers from Odor Eaters. Springy insoles with activated charcoal, the world's most powerful odor destroyer. Sneaker Tamers has it. This Scholl's doesn't. Sneaker Tamers absorb sweat, destroy sneaker odor, guaranteed for the life of your sneakers.
No more sneaker odor.
Sneaker Tamers from Odor Eaters.
From surf fishing off the coast of Costa Rica to fun fishing on the Great Lakes, angling adventure can be found everywhere. To the far Canadian north, to the Venezuelan jungles, angling adventure offers thrills for every man, woman, and child. For great fishing excitement and education, there's one show that offers it all. In Fisherman Angling Adventures, 12 noon Eastern, only on TNN Sports Sunday.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Valley of the Sun. In other news, one of Sprint Car Racing's stars has been involved in a bad accident. Longtime standout Doug Wolfgang was seriously injured Friday night in a practice crash for the World of Outlaws race in Kansas City, Kansas. Wolfgang suffered second and third degree burns from his thighs down from a fire after hitting the Turn 4 wall at Lakeside Speedway. In a prepared statement, Wolfgang's wife, Jerry, says that her husband has burns on 30% of his body and is expected to need 3 weeks for his condition to stabilize. Some skin grafting will be necessary. Wolfgang also had a fractured vertebrae in the neck and a concussion. Now, the family is requesting that no phone calls or visitors, but you can send any cards or letters to the address on your screen. That's Doug Wolfgang, Kansas University Medical Center, Burn Center, 39th and Rainbow, Kansas City, Kansas, 66103. We'll give you that address again in a few minutes. And everyone in racing sends along their best wishes for a speedy recovery for one of the great dirt track sprint car drivers in the country. Now let's turn our attention back to Phoenix, where the Toyota Atlantic Series doesn't run on that many oval layouts throughout the course of a season, but they are part of the show and were part of the show here yesterday. Now here are the highlights.
Number 11, Harold Heisman of Norway, knows what a green flag means as he overwhelmed the front row starters and took the early lead. A spin by Steve O'Hara brought out the first caution flag of the day, and when the field bunched up for a restart, it was Heisman's rookie teammate, number 12, Russell Spence, who showed the rest of the field how to get around the 1-mile Phoenix Oval. The race would come down to a two-car battle of the rookies between number 99, John Brooks, who had charged up from a 15th place start, and Spence. When the white flag flew, Spence was a close second, but on the next lap, when the white flag flew again, Spence dove under the leader and crossed the finish line first on what would be determined to be the 51st lap of a 50-lap race. After some confusion in the pits, the officials determined that Spence had won his second race in as many events, and Brooks was second in his first time out in the series. Behind the rookies in third was Jordan Harris, fourth was Mark Dismore, and fifth was Stuart Crow.
And joining us right now from Yorkshire, England, yesterday was his first oval track ever and went out and won the race, Russell Spence. Congratulations. A great run for you yesterday afternoon.
Absolutely. What a start. First time on an oval. Fantastic experience. Great race. And we actually won, so it was super.
Any secrets to success at Phoenix for your very first oval race?
Not really. I think it was blind ignorance, really. That's what goes through.
Are these Toyota cars, are they as much fun as they look like they are?
Well, at this race, yes, they are. I mean, it was a spectacular race, very close, very hard, but very fair.
Now, you'll do the whole season on these cars, right?
Yes, my Team 3001 North America plans on doing the full 16 races.
And headed to Long Beach with Chris Pook's group next week for a big race there in Long Beach, I guess.
Yes, looking forward to it. I raced at Long Beach last year, and unfortunately, I didn't even qualify. We blew our engines twice in 2 runs, so really looking forward to turning the tables this year.
Well, congratulations. Great win for you yesterday. Look forward to seeing your face in Victory Circle again.
Thank you.
All right, Russell Spence. In action yesterday from last night, Sammy Swindell came home the winner in the World of Outlaws show in Kansas City. He was followed by Steve Kinzer, Danny Lasowski, Stevie Smith, and Lee Brewer Jr. Now, in last night's all-pro race from Barberville, Florida, Jeff Purvis led the final 65 laps of the 200-lap feature to capture his first win of the year. Second went to series champ Jody Ridley. Bobby Kill was third, Mike Garvey fourth, and Rick Crawford fifth. We'll have highlights of all those races on this evening's show live from Phoenix. That's it from now from Phoenix. We'll be back this afternoon at our new time, 8:30 Eastern, when we'll have highlights of this afternoon's IndyCar race, along with all the action for Bristol's Winston Cup and other news and results from the day in motorsports. I'm Pat Patterson doing it live from Phoenix, saying later on this afternoon.
In Fisherman Angling Adventures, next. Whether trolling the backwater or casting in peaceful still waters, when Bill's in search of big fish, he knows how to hook prize keepers. Follow Bill Dance to the best fishing holes in the South on his quest for the ones that won't get away. Brought to you in part by ProCraft Boats. Bill Dance Outdoors, 12:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Eastern on TNN Sports Sunday.